Hi there, everybody, and thanks for joining us on KXAN Live. I'm Will Dupree, coming to you from the KXAN Live studio on this pretty gorgeous start to your Tuesday out there in downtown Austin. I wanted to let you know that we have some news that we just shared on our website, kxan.com, sharing an update about Project Connect, and particularly that light rail option that voters out there approved just a few years ago. We now know what transit officials are recommending as the potential route for this light rail line that will be built hopefully sometime in the near future. And we're going to talk now about where that route will go and how much it will be costing, at least the estimate at this point. So joining us today is KXAN digital reporter and transit specialist, Kelsey Thompson. She is going to talk a little bit more about this latest development. Good morning, Kelsey. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Will. I appreciate it.
Just a few moments ago, your story went live about this new recommendation for the light rail option. Let's talk about whom this recommendation is coming from today.
Yeah, so this recommendation is coming from the Austin Transit Partnership. This is the nonprofit organization created to oversee the construction and design of the Project Connect mass transit system. So this is one major step forward, but it's not the final step toward the light rail plan. There is still an official adoption process that will come in early June between ATP, Cap Metro, and city leaders before we get a formalized official plan. But it's still a good indication of the direction that ATP is looking to take these designs and engineering towards. So back in late March, they announced 5 options. And this is the fruition of 6 weeks of community engagement period, as well as a lot of comprehensive looking at the different options, how many riders each would serve, what areas of Austin this first investment would cover. And we get our first look today at what they think will be the first iteration of light rail here in Austin.
All right, let's get into it. I know a lot of people out there are wondering where this potential path will go and what areas it will cover. So this is the latest map shared today about the recommendation about where light rail will go throughout Austin. Kelsey, walk us through where this is showing the route to be.
Yeah, so the main recommendation, the key components of it is it would start north at 38th Street, and then it would head down south to Old Torf Street, as well as head out southeast toward Yellow Jacket Lane. But you see a little bit extra zones. You see some gray zones, as well as some black and yellow zones. Those are future build-out opportunities. So up north, we see from 38th Street to Crestview, that sort of black and yellow striped look. That is what they're looking at as a possible addition to this first phase of light rail, should project costs or funding allow for an additional build out. Above that, toward North Lamar Transit Center, that would be some future phase build outs following phase 1. What we see in the southeast from Yellow Jacket Lane to the airport, we see similarly from 38th to Crestview, that sort of additional opportunity to expand a bit eastward and hit the airport in this phase 1, as long as funding allows for it. But what we see right now and what this plan shows is it would be an on-street light rail, 2-line light rail that would run from 38th down to Old Torf and southeast to Yellow Jacket. But the on-street part through downtown is something that has been a really big point of conversation between both project leaders as well as members of the public, because we originally, when we first heard of Project Connect nearly 3 years ago at this point, it was designed and envisioned to be an underground subway system that would travel through downtown. That has changed with this most recent iteration of proposals and with this recommendation. It would be at street level, and it would have designated space cutting through the downtown core to offer light rail services for folks who are heading either north, south, or southeast.
And again, Kelsey, you mentioned this is just the recommendation from the Austin Transit Partnership. This may not be the final plan ultimately chosen. Again, this is just an indication, but why is that exactly?
Yeah, so this is the recommendation they're providing because they felt, ATP as an organization felt that this hit a core ridership of folks in both the UT neighborhood as well as heading southeast along Riverside Drive, where they noticed some key demographics of existing ridership as well as opportunities to really connect folks to businesses to key destinations in the downtown core, as well as both affordable and non-affordable housing throughout the town. So they really wanted this specific recommendation because they felt it had a more holistically encompassing ridership opportunity and was able to build connections not only to some of those key destinations, but to build out the system and connect it with existing CAP Metro services, including both Metro Rail as well as Metro Rapid bus services. We also know that this is one of the longer routes that were proposed. It's going to be 9.8 miles of light rail if it's selected, with 15 light rail stations. And they anticipate this could service upwards of 29,000 people should they go with this route option, as well as connect to more than 136,000 current jobs, 200,000 plus future jobs, and more than 20,000 affordable housing units along the project corridor.
So we're getting this recommendation today from Austin Transit Partnership. Let's talk about when the final design will be chosen. What date will that be? What should people look out for?
Yes, so June 6th is the big date that we're all looking forward to. That is going to be a tri-party meeting between ATP, Cap Metro, and the city of Austin. And it's at that meeting that we anticipate, and city leaders and project heads anticipate, they will make that official adoption of the recommendation. So that is kind of the date we have in mind. Everything right now is still subject to change, but it is a strong indication that this is the direction that both ATP as well as city leaders are looking toward, and it is very likely that this could be the plan that we end up seeing adopted come June 6th.
Kelsey, you had a chance to talk to some of the transit leaders about this plan before this came out. What are they saying about this particular design? How are they feeling about it?
You know, they're really excited about this one. I think they said that it speaks to the appetite that Austin has for light rail by connecting so many various downtown destinations, but also building out to the north, south, and southeast and hitting a lot more neighborhoods along the route that are already have an appetite for transit and rely on transit as part of their day-to-day living. So they said this route, they feel like it strikes a fine balance between reaching out to existing ridership where it exists and where it currently is, as well as attracting new people and new riders down the road who maybe don't use mass transit services right now, but will once a light rail is introduced to the system. So they also reminded that this is phase one of light rail services. There will be additional services and extensions planned in the future. But they felt that this would be a really great start at connecting to live, work, and play destinations and really hitting a wider margin of riders, perhaps than some of the other options would have.
This is certainly a big step forward about where the planning for this is, but we're getting this recommendation for where light rail will go, but there's some other pieces of this that are kind of getting tied up at the moment. So you did some reporting about some comments that the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, made related to Project Connect. Catch us up briefly on where that stands at this point and what his issue with it is.
Right. So Attorney General Ken Paxton issued an opinion over the weekend, questioning and raising some concerns about the funding structure of Project Connect's financing system. So back in November 2020, Austin voters overall approved the addition of a tax revenue stream specifically to fund Project Connect and a tax revenue increase, property tax revenue increase to specifically go toward Project Connect. This opinion released by Attorney General Ken Paxton on Saturday raises some concerns about how that revenue is used to pay off debt and the validity of that. Now, right now, that is just an opinion. It is not a binding legal argument per se, but city officials said and project leaders said that they're taking that into consideration as they go through this process, knowing that that is an opinion coming from key state leadership. But right now, they said they're still focusing on moving this recommendation forward and getting this initial phase of light rail approved. And they will be using that, keeping that in mind as they go through the financing process. But they said right now the priority is getting this plan approved and kickstarting engineering and further design work.
All right. So just to catch everybody up really quickly, and we might revisit some of the points you made, Kelsey, just to show people where this recommended route is. Kelsey Thompson is a digital reporter here at KXAN and really focuses on some of the transportation coverage in our area, so she knows very well this particular subject matter and what's happening today. But right now we are talking about this recommendation from the Austin Transit Partnership about where light rail associated with Project Connect will go. I'm going to pull up that map one more time, and then Kelsey, just tell us again and walk us through where this map will go and where the route could be.
Yeah, well, so the TLDR of this recommendation is that this route would run from 38th Street up north down south to Old Torf Street, as well as southeast along Yellow Jacket Lane, or hitting Yellow Jacket Lane rather, and it would cross Lady Bird Lake at Trinity Street. It is a 9.8-mile route worth of light rail with 15 stations along the way. We also see some of those black and yellow as well as gray buffer zones. The black and yellow ones that you see from 38th to Crestview, as well as from Yellow Jacket Lane to the airport, those are possible opportunities to add on and build out this phase one of light rail should project funding and costs allow them to tack that on in addition to the existing recommended route. That gray zone we see from Crestview to North Lamar Transit Center is future build out that they're anticipating likely after this initial phase one investment. But right now they are anticipating that should this recommended route move forward and get adopted, it would service upwards of 28,500 to nearly 30,000 riders every single day, as well as connect to a lot of key existing jobs as well as future jobs in the downtown core. We're talking 136,000 plus current jobs, 200,000 plus future jobs, and more than 20,000 affordable housing units that are located along these project boundaries.
Some of the project leaders are sharing ballpark figures about how much this particular plan could cost. What did they say?
So right now, this current proposal is estimated to cost between $4.5 and $4.8 billion. And this was a huge topic of conversation nearly a year ago, last July, when project heads hit pause on light rail designs because of estimated project costs burgeoning so significantly, both last April and then again last summer. So originally, they had anticipated hitting a $5 billion project amount when voters first approved it in November 2020. And so last summer, when they hit pause on this, they really wanted to go back and stay within that $5 billion threshold that they had originally anticipated for light rail. So what we're seeing on our screen right now in the recommendation that ATP is making is within that $5 billion mark, and it's landing roughly between $4.5 and $4.8 billion.
Undoubtedly, there will be many reactions coming in today about what this plan includes, so I know that you'll be tracking that all throughout the day, Kelsey, and we do appreciate you joining us and walking us through all this and getting us caught up to speed.
Yes, thanks so much for having me, Will. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Kelsey, enjoy the rest of your day and hope you all will check out her story that's available right now on KXAN.com and on the KXAN News mobile app. It's all about this recommendation for where light rail related to Project Connect could possibly go, and Kelsey chronicles all the steps involved and what's yet to come, and she'll be following that closely. Thank you all again for watching here this morning. I'm Will Dupree in the KXAN Live studio. We will see you back here at another time. Hope you all stay safe and healthy out there. Take care.